Good morning. It's me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see shifts and changes, we must make those shifts and changes. And remember, when you're listening to one side or the other, we are listening to energy. So if your person is one gender, they will have feminine energy and masculine energy because you yourself are composed of both of those things. And you need to tune into how you are, if there are things that are coming up that you're like, oh, I can see how, like for instance, I can see how my masculine person does this, but I can't see how I do it. It's really your job to figure out how you do similar things and stop doing those things or shift those things so you can improve your communication, your interactions, all that kind of stuff. Okay. I'm doing something a little different today. Not that much different, don't worry. I have taken away the extensive bottom of the deck for the union, and I'm only going to be using the two cards in closing for the union. So we'll go through feminine, masculine side, and then we'll do the oracles, and then we will close today with the healing process from the White Light Oracle. So I will give you your theme for the week, like I've been doing with the Thoth Tarot, and then I will silly card, and then I will close with that healing process. So I'm going to read the whole card, which is usually a long. That's why I'm only doing this one at the end. I'm going to read the entire card instead of just summarizing like I normally do, and I'm going to read the healing process with some just soothing tones behind it if you want to do the meditation at the end. You are welcome to. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one. All right. So I've been pulling these ginormous Thoth tarot cards. Also, I wish I knew like math well enough and had a good concept of dimensions well enough that when I ordered something online, I knew that it was like made for a giant instead of just like a normal tarot card. Because I could easily have solved this problem by being like, oh, that's the size of a Bible. So you probably want a smaller deck. But anyway, it's fine. This mistake that I made has ended up giving me this really weighty deck, which I feel has a lot of symbolism and mystery and significance. And because of that, I've been trying to open and close our readings with these big themes that come from this deck. So, the messages that we get today, in order for us to really hone in on what we should gather, which would be for the highest good of all today, the messages should help us with this thing, which is the Tent of Pentacles. This card says wealth. This is the material fulfillment of our spiritual desires. This is where the ego has the card driven by the intuition and arrives at the destination. And it is really telling me today that all the messages that we have today, what will be in the highest good of all is if they help us to really hone in on what our material fulfillment, what constitutes our material fulfillment, which we can, of course, only get from really knowing our spiritual one, right? So we'll probably keep coming back to this theme of the Ten of Pentacles. This is also happiness, the house, the car, like everything, all the abundance, everything you're wanting. So the fulfillment of this for the twins would be for the highest good of all. All right, we're going to start with Divine Feminine because she had two cards showing, and Divine Masculine only had one card showing, but I'm already seeing repeat cards. All right, we're doing head space and then heart space, the good old way. We used to always do it in the past when I first started this bitch. Okay. Top of the deck, overall headspace, the thing consuming divine feminine's mind right now. Eye roll, please. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. But it's the Five of Cups. But it looks like it's about someone particular who she's either pessimistic or optimistic about. And there is a feeling here that this person is probably very sad. So she's thinking a lot about the sadness of this person. Now, we've seen death recently, and it is Scorpio season. So what would Scorpio season be without death? But we've seen it recently in the collective. And there is an understanding from this card for me that Divine Feminine is thinking about the sadness that comes from the end, but is also trying to be hopeful about new beginnings and new potential. Like that sky isn't completely black. There is light that seeps through the clouds here, and this hopefulness that the wind will blow the storm away and that things will work out as they are meant to. I do feel a feminine energy that is not with the masculine in this sadness, rather feels the sadness, but it doesn't consume her. And it may be that the masculine is being consumed by the sadness, but regardless, this is overall in her mind. The niggling thing in the back of her mind is our friend the moon, which was significant today in the playlist. The songs were only about dreams and the moon. And for the feminine, it's a reversal on this energy. So this could be a lot about facing reality, okay, for the feminine. Embracing that there were very good things, and there are very good things that she can see, that she can sense, that is there. She has an intuition about. But the reality is that this masculine who she has focused on, he looks, how do I want to articulate this? She sees that in reality, he is too sad. Like he's too withdrawn. He's too, there could be limiting beliefs that still have some kind of a hold over her in regards to this masculine, how she views this masculine. The reality of him coming out of the dreams and fantasies of him and just really facing like he's this and he's that, you know, it's like that one animal spirit card, this and that are true. She's like, I have this love for this person always, right? Those two cups that are preserved here behind him, that's always here. But he continues to just be focused here on whatever third-party energy is distracting him or preventing him from coming forward or consuming him. However it is, it could be drinking too, just whatever. She can just see that this masculine is sad and wounded and focused on that and going through some kind of either a resistance to subconscious work or in the midst of it or whatever. And that's the reality of him. He's no longer a fantasy version of future potential. He is who he is. It's 7:55 on the clock right now, which means she is who she is right now. She's not living a fantasy version of herself either. She is embodying who she wants to be right now in this moment. The first thing on her mind, we already know, is the divine masculine energy. It is upright, stable, solid, everlasting, determined, ambitious, driven, sexually charged energy. It's in the past placement in my spread, but not because she's not thinking about it. We just saw what she's thinking about, but she's thinking about the reality of this divine masculine, that in order for him to truly achieve this, and remember, she does have an awareness that this is her own energy too. this must happen. The world, the completion of cycles. This cycle with the masculine has ended. That is clear because this is in the past placement. The Emperor's in the past placement, and this is the present. And in the present moment, Divine Feminine is on top of her own world. And this is not a deck, which I do have a lot of decks, and I was called to choose this one today. And this deck is very minimal in its depiction of the world. There's not a lot of chaos here. There's really just Divine Feminine. It's her own world. She has released this masculine energy from her world so that she could heal her wounds from their inability to manifest this union. This is the Lover's card in reverse. So this is telling me the storyline being she was overly focused on the masculine energy. She has ended that cycle of being focused, and she has released her attachment to this manifestation, this union. She is in the present moment on top of the world, whether or not she sees this union happen. Clarifying this Emperor card, we have the Nine of Swords. And I was going to say, like, when I was starting the video, sometimes I'll be thinking about like some general themes I might talk about and then never say them. And one of the things I was going to say is I'm extremely exhausted and drained and like having a hard time doing like just general housework type things. I mean, I have a new puppy, so that does take a lot of work, but I'm just feeling like this drained energy. And I was like, oh, why do I feel like this? And I'm like, oh, because your sleep has been terrible. Like I go to bed. It doesn't matter if I go to bed at 9 or 2. I wake up at 2:30 or 3:30. Now it's 2:30 because of the time change. Love that. Fuck the stupid time change. It makes me so pissed. I lived in Arizona for a minute and I was like, oh my God. Daylight savings is stupid. They need to get rid of it everywhere. It's a dumb, stupid thing, and they need to stop doing it. Please stop doing daylight savings, America. Fucking idiots. It's so annoying. Okay, anyway. So now I wake up at 2:30. Even if I go to bed at like 1, it's like, cool, I'm awake now. And I sometimes have to get all the way up and just do something to put myself back to sleep, whatever. And then I wake up again between like 5:30 and 6:30 with my pup to go outside. I have to take her out, whatever. So I'm just not sleeping, trying to catch like sleep during the day, but not able to sleep. So Divine Feminine, this is something that has kept her up. This focus on the masculine energy has kept her from sleeping. Sometimes it's like honeymoon, like, oh my God, and this will add that or the other thing. And other times it's just like the torture of it, and it kind of doesn't matter which one it is. It's just draining her of her energy. I always feel like there's like blood being drained from this person, like into these divots here or something. Like it's just draining energy. But there's also this awareness, because we're looking at her headspace, that it's her own mental entrapment that kept her locked and scared and afraid to move on. The 8 of Cups, but it's in reverse. And it is clarifying the World card, because this Divine Feminine did walk away from the Lover's energy. We already saw that was the cycle that was completed here. And this is something that has already been accomplished. She walked away towards her higher calling, which was to basically be her own masculine energy. And she walked away from what? The 6 of Cups in reverse, a past connection, somebody that she felt she wanted to reunite with, somebody who she was hoping to reconcile with. She walked away. So that's where she is in her headspace. In her heart space, the overall energy, top of the deck, is temperance, from the Ostara Tarot. And this is a card about balancing all of those wild emotions that come up in us. And it is such a lovely clarifier to the headspace, because we're seeing that she's not being drawn into these thoughts she's having about the divine masculine sadness, or about her sadness about losing him, or anything like that. She's not allowing that to destabilize her. That's why that Emperor card is upright for her. She's actually very stable, emotionally stable. She's also feeling the protected energy, that her masculine energy is protected, safe, even though there has been this recent ending. A niggling feeling in her heart space is the Six of Swords. And I get a sense that she does worry a little bit that she's in a running energy. But I want to strongly encourage her that she's not, because she's followed the directives of the messages she's received from the readings. And that is the energy that tells us how we can be in alignment with what we desire. So she now could be being chased by the masculine energy as she's leaving. There could be this energy of him trying to tempt her back, trying to get her to engage in the ways that they used to communicate the way that they used to, those swords there in the water, or think about themselves the way they used to. She's escaping from that temptation, that pull, and she doesn't know where she's going. And it looks like there are some obstacles up ahead, but she's no longer willing to stay in this dark shore anymore. She's heading towards the light. And clarifying this Emperor card in the past placement is the Knight of Swords in reverse. So this is why we're seeing that she's putting the divine masculine behind her, right? It's that masculine energy is falling after the world that she's on top of. So she is putting this masculine behind her because of his recklessness, because of his deceit, because he did not communicate directly or clearly truth, or move with any kind of a consideration for her needs, but it was just reckless communication, which served only his needs, his ego. And the cycle that she's ending is this no communication cycle. This is the Eight of Wands. She's literally not going in that direction anymore with this masculine energy. She's like, where there is no communication, I'm on my own. I'm on top of my world. I am not going to communicate with that energy. I am not going to continue in those old patterns that I'm escaping. I am refusing to communicate until I see that cycle that the masculine is in ending. The Lover's card in reverse, I love this. She's having faith. This is the Three of Wands. She is having faith that these pieces are going to fall into place for her to experience the romantic relationship. Good morning, sunshine. Romantic relationship that she does intend to have. She's patient. She's trusting that those ships are coming in and that they are going to have, even though she doesn't know what's on them, they are going to have what we know is the theme for this week, the Ten of Pentacles, her material happiness and fulfillment. The Nine of Swords, the constant thinking, the constant mentalizing about this masculine's lack of communication, his deceit, his dishonesty, whatever it is, that constant entrapment that she is realizing, because this is in the past placement, this is what was holding her back from achieving her full Queen of Pentacles energy. She was so busy nurturing this masculine, which we now see her balancing out her emotions for. Look at the color, the significant color similarity here. So her worries, concerns, anxieties, anxious, avoidant attachment patterns that were happening, They cause her to be this over-mothering, overbearing, controlling, over-nurturing energy. But now, this is now. She has tempered that energy so that she's no longer doing that. She's allowing the masculine to be sad. You know, in the past, she would be like, oh, don't be sad, masculine. It's okay. Don't feel bad. I understand. I have so much compassion for you. It's okay that I'm being bled dry. I love you, and it's acceptable for me to tolerate anything from you because of my love for you. But that cycle ends once you start to love yourself, because you're like, oh, no. Not only is it not loving to myself to accept anything that would drain me or give me this much anxiety or fear or worry or discomfort, I'm perpetuating this cycle with this person as well by allowing it, by enabling it. So every time I go back and cycle through that same pattern, I'm guilty of the same self-harming behaviors because I'm just allowing the harming, and I'm harming someone else. I'm telling them, you're not capable of comforting yourself. I'm not really worthy, so it makes sense that you don't really believe in my worthiness, so it's okay. I'm having an experience of having a person return to my life that it was just an acquaintance and kind of really getting to know this person. And I'm stepping back from it and thinking, why does this stuff seem weird? Because it's so normal. Oh, this person responds to text messages. They bragged about me in front of people. They were not scared to be physically affectionate with me in public. They clearly understood my love language is physical touch and kept intuitively doing that. There's an ease, there's a flow, there's no fear, there's no avoidance, there's just being present. Divine Feminine has not been able to experience it with this masculine because she's been doing all of the heavy lifting this whole time. This Eight of Cups in reverse is clarified by that Strength card in reverse. This has been so difficult. Divine Feminine has almost not felt strong enough to actually do this, and it's taken a lot, and she keeps kind of coming back and forth here with her anger about it. Her ego gets hurt, gets wounded, triggered, I guess would be the right word, that she had to do this, that it even happened. There's definitely that egoic feeling that this happened to her that she's managing, and she does feel like it takes a lot of strength. And she walked away because she felt, despite knowing the strength of the connection, she wasn't strong enough to endure the weight, the way it was making her feel. And now the Six of Cups in reverse in the headspace, this past connection that she's releasing her attachment to, it's being clarified by the Death card in reverse because she knows that it will never die. That even though she's not focused on it, holding out for it, needing it, dependent upon it, maybe even desiring it at this point, her desire for it is not even really that strong. She knows that the true connection will never die. It is an eternal bond, right? It also may be very hard for her to let it die. But I really think it's more about her feeling that it's just never going to die. But that's not holding her back in her headspace so much as it used to, because that Five of Cups is optimism, and the Three of Wands clarifying the Lovers in reverse is also that faith and optimism. And the Temperance card is faith, trust, belief in the protection. And I don't know, I feel like a really good, solid energy coming from the feminine side. Okay, let's look at the masculine side now. I see you pulled the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, that was the theme for today from the Aleister Crowley. So this is that Ten of Pentacles. It's like tuning into the spiritual side of the Ten of Pentacles will help you to manifest it, basically. So really getting to the heart of what you desire. Okay, now, Jesus. Well, okay. Yeah. Let's do the masculine signs. So a good way for me, it's 8:11 on the clock. A good way for me to illustrate in the beginning of the video when I try to explain to you that when you come here, like, I know that over 92% of my viewers identify as female in gender in YouTube statistics. So the majority, I feel, the people here tend to be of the female gender or identify as such. But that does not necessarily mean that they are also wanting to be with a masculine gendered person, right? That they could still be with a female gender or a transgender or a non-binary person, but they identify as a female. So if you identify as a female in gender and you identify strongly with feminine energy, and then the person that you are attracting, it doesn't matter what their gender is, but they're more of a masculine energy for you. You come here and you hear the masculine side and you're like, yep, that's. But it is you. So you have to really figure out how this is also you. Make sure you are doing that. Okay. Now, divine masculine. Wow. This is the 10 of Wands, and I'm using the zombie tarot because I can't stop using it. It's cool and weird and freaky and has a lot of good imagery that's like bringing out some interesting messages, which if you would like to send me more decks, you can go to pearlspairs.com. The description box is below, and you can click send me a deck, or there's even like a link in the description. And when I get all these decks, I have all these cool experiences, so I do appreciate that. All right, so divine masculine. He can't handle it anymore. He cannot handle the skeletons in his closet. He cannot keep these things hidden anymore. He has to unburden himself. It is killing him not to speak. We've got here a zombie that is being consumed with this desire to put down all of this burden. And the not only wanting to communicate, but just no longer wanting to have to struggle against the niggling thing in the back of his mind. The Queen of Wands. Now she's upright. She is magnetic. She's attractive to the point that divine masculine can't handle it anymore. He can't handle his attraction to this feminine. This is consuming him. I have to stop. Like I have to say everything. I have to unload these secrets. I can't hide her from people in my life. I can't hide things from her anymore. I need to tell her how I feel, because underlying all my thoughts is how nothing can keep divine feminine down. This is a feminine who has gotten the zombie virus and is like, it looks like she's healing herself from it. Like that's a feeling that I have, because this is the witchy feminine, the healer, the spiritual feminine in the Queen of Wands energy. She's the divine feminine, truly. She's the expert communicator. And divine masculine knows that she is going to recover from the situation that they've been in and attract whatever and whoever she wants. And this is a huge burden for him. He can't stand it anymore. And very interestingly, the very first card, the very first thing on his mind, we've already seen for the feminine today, the World. Look at the stark difference in these two cards, and then go click send me a deck, because this is why it's so cool to have so many decks. I see here a world that is destroyed, a world on fire, okay? And we're looking at it from what looks to be the moon. And on the moon, which was a huge theme of the playlist today, we see the lovers escaped in fantasy. And this is the card that is in the past placement. Now, I don't usually share the clarifier before I go through the top row, but I'm going to today because it's so significant. Because right underneath this world card is this Four of Cups. And this Four of Cups shows a dead feminine catering to the masculine's every need, right? Comforting him. And that is in the same position as this card for the feminine, where she was over nurturing. Look at this. The masculine energy, babying him. And how was this happening? It was happening while they were living in this fantasy of future potential that divine masculine was projecting always. Okay. This is the cycle that the divine masculine has ended. His world is on fire now because he lived on the moon. We saw the moon already over here for divine feminine, and it was actually in direct energy towards this masculine who her reality of him was, hey, guess what? This bitch has been living on the moon this whole time. And the reality of him is that that's where he lives. And I don't live on the moon. You know where I live? I live right here in the center of the reading in this present time placement. I live in the world. And I'm there all by myself. That is so fucking profound to me. I cannot. Okay, so the next card after the world card, the current placement of present moment for this masculine headspace is the 10 of Cups upright. So we see him focused on his bliss fulfillment. Now, this card is the precursor to me of successful completion of the 10 of Pentacles card. You must know what this is in order to achieve this. And you must not be too attached to specifics about this in order to achieve this. So these are connected. Divine masculine is feeling in the present moment the only thing that will make him happy after having burned his world down is to have this feminine energy and this family finally in this paradise, away from all the fires, the chaos, the karmic mess, peaceful. But guess what it is again? Escaping. It's escaping again from this burning world. Wow, Elizabeth saying, I legit pulled the 10 of Pentacles for me and the 10 of Cups for my masculine energy as well as the world. You see how we're linked. So profound to me. So the world is burning and masculine is trying to go in this present moment. He's trying to recreate that bliss, that escape, that paradise he had with the feminine. He knows there's only one way to do this because in the future placement is the Hierophant, which in this permutation of the card is a rescue station, where it's an information, a television that's saying that there are these different places to go to be rescued. So the storyline in this deck is they apparently there's places you can go and then they journey towards that place. And then the Sun card, which I actually saw this morning as I was shuffling, is a helicopter arriving at the rooftop of one of these rescue stations to save everyone. Okay. What divine masculine knows will save everyone is if he offers a solid long-term commitment. Good morning, Sun. I'm good, thank you. So if he offers a solid long-term commitment, this will save the world that has burned down. Now, we already saw the next card, which was clarifying the world, which again, just as a reminder, was the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups being he didn't accept this offer from divine feminine. Okay. He didn't accept the offer, which is why this world burned down. So funny that I was talking about the sun card and then the sun appeared. And right now in the chat, we have sunshine and sun. I think that's so interesting, right? Okay, so the 10 of Cups, this is being clarified by this very fascinating image of the 7 of Swords. And this is, look at this, divine feminine kicking this masculine down the stairs. And, you know, honestly, the masculine is looking healed and everything. And she's kicking him down to these like zombies here. She's like, just like, whatever. But if you're thinking about the storyline, then we're assuming that maybe she's discovered that this divine masculine is actually toxic. And in order to save herself, like maybe he's just been bitten, in order to save herself, she has to kill him and leave, get away. She's got to escape from this toxic energy. Remember, this is divine masculine's headspace. So there is this awareness that the masculine has that his own toxicity is, this is nobody's fault but my own type of an energy from the masculine. Okay. I was bit. I was consumed with this toxicity. This is what happens. But the 7 of Swords for me is not just about everybody saying, oh, it's about this person's cheating on me. First of all, let me just address this because this is bothering me. Okay. In my TikToks right now, there are so many people who come in and say, my person is cheating. Okay. And in the masculine messages, the current masculine energy has been like, I am not actively engaging in sexual energy with other partners. So remember, there are different timelines in this story. So there are people at different points in their story, number one. Number two, if you are not in a committed relationship with your person, they are not cheating on you. The end. They don't have to apologize. They don't have to say they are sorry. They are not cheating on you if you are not in a current relationship. If you were in a relationship and you had an understanding and they violated and betrayed that understanding or that actual commitment, legal or otherwise, that is a different part of the timeline for the twins. The current twins that are in separation, the masculine energy is not engaging. The feminine energy is also not engaging in karmic energy. If you are doing that, you are at a different point in your timeline. You're focused on a person who might not be your twin. You're awakening to your spiritual healing, which has nothing to do with getting into union with your person. So just let that go right now and you'll be free. Just to clarify, because it's very frustrating that they are because always like, oh, well, this message just doesn't apply to me because this person, it's like, okay, if you know your person is cheating, then the divine masculine energy within yourself is not being matched by the person you're focusing on. This is the biggest gift you've ever received. It is the biggest present. It is like, oh, this person doesn't match me because my divine masculine energy doesn't betray me. All right. I see your questions. This is a collective reading, and I can tell you the answer to your question. Are they coming back? Are they communicating soon? All depends on your openness to whether you communicate, whether you keep your commitments to yourself, whether you heal within yourself. And there's nothing I can tell you right now about that person coming back to you that will help you heal any of those things. So if you tune into this full reading and listen to all the messages that are coming, you'll receive answers. But this is not a personal reading. This is a collective reading. If you'd like a personal reading, you can go to pearlsprayers.com and book a personal reading. But this is a free 2-hour-ish reading. Usually it's an hour and a half to 2 hours where you can get a lot of your questions answered. And then I do live TikToks occasionally. And also, if you'd like to support me, you can also go to that website, click support, because this is my job. I do this for a job. and I need a car. So please help me out. And you can send me decks there. You can listen to my music, all that stuff. All right, back to the cards. So this Seven of Swords is not about cheating. Just that was a long thing that I just wanted to talk about today because it keeps coming up. But this is not about cheating. It is about strategy, because this is also a card that is about trying to plan something or trying to get away with something. So Divine Masculine right now knows the only way to fix this scenario is to come in with a long-term commitment, the Hierophant marriage card. So long-term commitment does not mean if you're a person that doesn't want to get married, this doesn't mean that you're going to get married necessarily. It's just somebody that's ready. They have learned their lessons. They're wanting a more traditional commitment. They have a spiritual authority, a feeling of being reverent to spiritual authority kind of a feeling, okay? So that's masculine knows it's the only way this is going to happen. So he's trying to strategize exactly how to get this feminine out of this burning city, to take her to a place where they can achieve this bliss. Now, this can mean actually traveling, or it can just mean, the spiritual one. It's most likely the spiritual one, but I should say it could mean actually he's trying to actually figure out how to get her away from where she's been and bring her somewhere that's easier to be able to enjoy themselves together. The Hierophant is being clarified by the King of Cups upright. So the King of Cups in this card is such an interesting image because he's fully immersed. He's drowning his emotions. Only his eyes are above the water here so that he can see. The rest of him below the water is actually being eaten alive. He's a zombie in this image. So interesting. The King of Cups is a wonderful energy, but he has a difficult time expressing himself. Don't you know it? Don't you know it? Go play. Go play. Sorry. My puppers needs my attention. So the King of Cups has a very difficult time expressing himself, but he's very loving and compassionate. He's the husband energy, the paternal father energy, the guide, the mentor. He's a wonderful, loving energy. This particular king can have issues with substances, drinking, etc. But I'm not feeling that right now. The energy that I'm feeling from this is that the Divine Masculine is overwhelmed by how much he wants to bring this sacred union to the feminine. Let's go now into the heart space. Top of the deck, overall feeling of the heart space. Wah, wah. This is the Two of Cups in reverse. There can be a couple layers here. The Divine Masculine could have recently released a karmic energy, but as I just said in the beginning, or just a few minutes ago, this masculine has not been engaging with a specific karmic energy at this time. So this can just be most likely about the actual physical manifestation of union that did not occur because of the Divine Masculine's inability to communicate. So I need to get my incense because I'm pretty sure that my puppy correctly used the puppy pads, but I can smell that she correctly used the puppy pads. And I would like to not smell that during the rest of this reading. Thank you for being a good girl. All right. I wish we did not live in the middle of the city and that I had a doggy door. All right. So he's feeling heartache for the loss of this missed opportunity to come into a physical union in this present with the feminine energy. This is the burden. I also think he wants to unload the skeletons in his closet about the reasons why he hasn't been able to actually bring about this physical union and what caused it, etc. The niggling thing underlying all of his in his heart space, the niggling feeling is the card we've already seen, the Lovers. Only for the masculine, it's upright. This is the physical union with the feminine is it's like pulling him, tugging him, urging him into this union. He really, really wants to be able to have that energy in his life. So how did he burn this world down? If you all missed the Gray Strega reading yesterday, make sure you go watch it. It's on Instagram on Gray Strega's account. I think it's probably disappeared from my stories, but it might still be there. Definitely go check it out because this card came up like 4 times, along with some other cards that came up 4 times. That was a crazy reading. This is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And so this divine masculine is acknowledging in his heart space, he feels responsible that this world was burned down, this opportunity was burned down, because rather than actually bringing the offer, he withheld it and kept them in this fantasy space, in hyperspace on the moon. It's, I guess yesterday was the anniversary of that record, and that describes completely where they have been. So here is the 10 of Cups upright, clarified by the Empress in reverse. This masculine knows that this feminine, her dream, her bliss fulfillment is not to be kept waiting anymore. And he fears he's lost her by making her wait too long. And as we already read the feminine side, and we saw the feminine side being like, bye, we know that it is accurate that she is not waiting around anymore. She has decided not to wait. Now, guess what is here again? The moon. Which there's so much major union for these two. For this masculine energy, (8:33 on the clock), there's been these subconscious limiting beliefs. Divine feminine is tuned into them. That is what she is feeling about this masculine, or thinking. This feminine thinks this bro is refusing to face this illumination. He's refusing to trust his intuition, right? That's what she thinks about him, right? Look at how your thoughts hurt you sometimes when you're not tuned in to your intuition truly, because this masculine is actually tuned into his intuition. And his intuition is telling him, bring about this union. Bring about this union. Daughter of Cups in reverse. This is what is clarifying the 4 of Cups. So this divine masculine is feeling emotionally underdeveloped, and he was seeking that nurturing energy. He was trying to heal his emotional development through this relationship with the feminine. But that sucks. That sucks. Because look at what happens to the feminine when you do that. And then you're like, oh, now I feel better. I'm going to go fuck someone else and get into a relationship with someone else. Because now I've used you to make to understand my feelings, to do the emotional legwork for me. And divine masculine's heart space is like, wow. I have to take accountability and apologize for that. And I don't want to, because I know how much it sucks. I know how much I killed this feminine by engaging in this relentless fantasy building that I did with her. The 7 of Swords is being clarified by the 3 of Wands upright. So there is this energy here of patience, just like divine feminine has. Divine feminine is like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know my ships are coming in because I worked hard and I have released my attachment to outcome, and I am on top of my own world, and I'm no longer in this cycle with this masculine energy. So I know that now that I have left that cycle, that I'm getting what I have been asking for, and it might not look the way I expected it to, but I get it anyway. Divine Masculine is in the same kind of an energy of feeling the ships are falling into place. He's seeing the pieces come together and the strategy for exactly how to bring about this union with the feminine. However, he has to be patient because he's trying to control this chaos of his emotions and feelings about all of the mess that he's made. So he's resisting this moving forward into this next place because he fears if he faces himself, if he really faces how truly awful he has been to this loving, kind, feminine energy, that he will drown, that he will want to die. Because this queen, this is his divine feminine. And because of his ego being out of control, he missed his opportunity with her, used her, and now still wants her and has no true idea yet how to come forward to express this in a way that will be less painful for him. And there's really no way to do that, which is why he keeps numbing out. He can't face the pain he's caused. So he's not moving. He's not coming forward. And Divine Feminine's walking away. So we're seeing a few months ago, the readings were like, oh, the Divine Feminine's going to leave me if I don't do anything. Do you see how we are a self-perpetuating philosophy? All right. Divine Feminine, you are in the shadow attributes right now of the King energy, which means you're having excessive feelings of entitlement and rulership without restraint. Me? What do you mean? You need to come into the light attributes of enlightened, benevolent leadership and benefiting those in your charge. All right, Divine Feminine, you're like exactly what this card says. You are just really feeling entitled to some reciprocity. Can I get some RESPECT kind of a feeling? It's not that you aren't due reciprocity. Everyone is. But those feelings of entitlement are causing you to go into a very controlling energy. You're embodying the masculine energy, right? Because there is no masculine energy. But that means that you are being controlling of your emotions and expression too, right? So you've got to feel it to heal it, number one. And number two, the entitlement feeling, you need to go into that because you're seeking fulfillment outside of self still. It is not the masculine's job to bring you anything. Security, comfort, sex, physical attention. That isn't the job. That's not the job. Those are things that you get to have because you both want to. But they're not things you're entitled to. You're only ever entitled to what you are giving yourself. All right. We have Saint Dymphna here. So Divine Feminine, you are being led by your emotions. They are guiding you. You're feeling your emotions and then you're sensing them out. You're like, okay, I feel this way. What am I thinking that's causing me to feel that way? Do I need to keep thinking that? Can I change what I'm thinking about? You're actually using this guidance system. And if that doesn't sound familiar to you, that's something you need to learn to do. And you can call on this Saint Dymphna to help you with this. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So you're still feeling this gratitude, even though you've gone through this painful ending and had to release this energy. You're still feeling this gratitude that you learn these lessons through love, that there are all kinds of ways to learn, and you still feel like this gratitude that you get to experience this love like this. Dreams. The feminine song today was Street of Dreams. You're facing reality. So this is I think you're also just having a hard time sleeping. This is about, and there might be a reason, like masculine might be trying to reach you there. You might be resisting that dream space because you don't want to engage, but that rulership without restraint thing is causing you to be very controlling in a lot of ways. And you need to open up more to your, maybe the telepathic connection, or do the healing on the telepathic level. Allow that to happen, which might mean you need to be a little bit more mindful about writing down your dreams or tuning into your dreams, because there's information that you're not receiving right now because you're facing reality. You're not able to imagine a healed outcome. And, Abraham Hicks is always like, don't face reality. Like, don't, just create your own reality by telling a story of what you want, not what you don't want. And so you need to get into that headspace a little bit more, Divine Feminine. You're very close to achieving your goal. In reverse for me means you have already achieved it. And it's kind of weird to be at this point where we just saw that Divine Feminine is like, I'm good. I don't need this union. And to realize that that is actually the goal that you needed to achieve. And that might be a tough lesson to learn, because I think that we all come here hoping that we're going to hear that tomorrow we're going to be in union with the twin. But that's not the goal. If that is your goal, then you're going to have a lot of healing to do before that ever happens. Your goal has to be this, you on top of the world, just on your own, able to really see a future for yourself, build a future for yourself, stabilize, enjoy, be fulfilled. Did you talk about turtle spirit? Because here's turtle spirit right here. Slow and steady wins the race. And wow, coming out for the Divine Feminine, I'm just like blown away today. But I actually think that there is just this need for the feminine to understand that this is going to be true no matter what. Whether it's this masculine that's taking so long or a new energy, it's going to take time, slow and steady, to build from this place where we started, right? Which was 0. You're getting the magnetism of Eros from the White Light Oracle. You actually got this one, I think, before last week. And that Queen of Wands energy that Divine Masculine was seeing you in. Interesting countering to this. This is the first card in the deck. Trust in what your heart yearns for without concern about how it will manifest. Take steps toward that which moves your heart. Reach out for what your soul wants and needs. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, for only then can you be truly held. That which appears out of reach or unavailable to you is closer than you realize. And remember that what the hell did it say? You're very close to achieving your goal. Like it's within your reach type of a thing. And then it says this oracle indicates a path is opening up for you. It may not be the easiest way forward, but when your heart leaps at the prospect of it, know something truly special is unfolding for you through that pathway. Trust where your heart is leading you. So just trust right now where the intuition, which is guiding us into no communication, patiently awaiting, releasing the urge to control with the Queen of the Queen of Pentacles, and releasing the ego's attachment to outcome, and understanding that this connection will never die. And then you are getting the Nine of Wands, Divine Feminine, which in this deck says strength on it, because it's about the endurance that you need to go through a healing process. This can be about having been in isolation and healing and working on the self, and finally having that mastery of moving into the Ten of Wands, where you can put down this burden, no longer carry it anymore. This is a release of victim mentality. And I feel that it is not something that Divine Feminine needs to do. I think she has done it. She has accomplished it. And I think she's really strong from what she has gone through. And that is the theme that you need to carry with you this week. All right, let's go over and help the masculine now. Divine Masculine, you are in the light attributes of the teacher child. And the thing I'm drawn to most is that this teacher is putting those two halves of the planet back together. So the world that was destroyed is being healed by the feminine energy, who is teaching the masculine how to accomplish this healing process. Now, let me contextualize that, because I see a lot of readers, or a few readers, who will say things like it's the feminine's job to heal, and while the masculine goes out and hunts or whatever. And I'm like, okay, please contextualize that, because every human being, it's their job to heal themselves. It's not my job to heal my masculine. That's the problem, right? That's the issue. So make sure you don't get that twisted. The feminine energy inside of a masculine identifying person, that masculine focusing on a feminine energy outside of himself, embodied in me, for instance. So my person focusing on me as a feminine, seeing me heal myself, seeing me as a healer, seeing me as a teacher, that has helped him to find his own inner divine feminine. Oh, Sunshine is saying, yes, I've seen the whole feminine needs to heal in order for the masculine to heal, because we are the awoken ones. That is the biggest bullshit ever. I really wish people would not say that, because they don't say, first of all, I think a lot of readers don't realize what they're saying is not true. I think a lot, because I see a lot of readers, and I'm realizing that they think they're reading, like a lot of readers think they're reading for your person. A lot of readers think this is your person, this is what your person thinks. So whatever person you're thinking about, this is what they're thinking. And I'm like, how? Because I can only read people with their permission. I can only read people for their highest good. And like, even if I read for a friend and they want to know about their person, I'm like, look, I'm going to read for you about your energy, and whatever messages you hear, you're going to get information about your intuition, about your person. I don't know. Don't trust a lot of the readers. I'm starting to feel a lot of the readers, because I'm like, wow, there's so many readers. And now I'm starting to look at the cards they're holding up and the things they're saying. And I'm like, they're not actually doing it. Okay. But that teacher card right now, Divine Masculine, through his integration of feminine energy in self, now has the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, and skill, or wisdom to others. He's learning, he's teaching himself, which is great, because here is his inner child that is being supported by the guardian angel. So he's literally teaching his inner child, okay? And then what also is coming up, which is significant to me, is the safe travel card. So it's like this journey has taught him how to heal his inner child through the development of the feminine energy within himself, okay? The balance of the masculine energy. This is also potentially about traveling, being safe. This came out in reverse recently, and it was like, maybe you shouldn't travel. This is like, okay, it's safe now to travel. Or this can also be about hermit energy, him being on his journey. The divine feminine, also getting that Saint Dymphna card with the hermit energy. There's that parallel sort of mirroring energy going on. Divine Masculine is getting, I create mindful moments throughout the day, reminding myself that I am love and miracles are natural, coming out with my vibes speak louder than my words. This is really significant to me. This is the Divine Masculine thinking with this card. I'm creating mindful moments throughout the day, reminding my feminine that she is loved and that miracles are natural. Okay. This is what he thinks. I'm doing this. And this card is coming out to be like, shh, bitch, your vibes speak louder than your words. So it's like he's trying to create these mindful moments, but he's using that mask that he's always wearing. He's using those old methods of communication. And the universe is like, nah, your vibes are speaking louder than your words. Your feminine can intuit that what you say is bullshit, 100%, because you don't have the security that you need to come forward. Whether that is financial, whether it's about your body, whether it's about your who you are, whether you're cool enough, I don't fucking care what it is, but you don't have what it is. So you're trying to convince yourself that you're doing all you can to remind this feminine how much she's loved. And all you're doing is just whispering words, and words are wind for this feminine. She's like, nah, love doesn't act like that. This is not how love acts. This is not how love feels. This is implications of love. This is a suggestion of love, but this isn't how it feels. Reconciliation. Divine masculine, you must ask for forgiveness. And if you're having a hard time, it's because you haven't forgiven yourself. So you still need to do the forgiveness work. I forgive myself for not forgiving you. And with this, I forgive you too. This, the masculine and feminine energy can use as a mantra for the both of them. This is interesting. Divine masculine, it says your hard work is paying off, and it's in reverse. And I feel like there is a little bit of a warning here that you are not actually doing the work. This intuition divine feminine has, that you're just standing there looking at your sorrowful situation. The universe is acknowledging that you need to actually be doing the work to see it just get paid off. I'm seeing that reconciliation. That's good. You just decided to reconcile and keep trying at least until after the holidays. That's beautiful. Divine masculine, coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. So there is this need for the masculine to view these obstacles that have come up as the divinely, I don't know, just as divine intervention that is helping him lead where he needs to go. And then for his healing energy card, we are getting the Alpha of Alcyone. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I do apologize. It is card 24. A positive twist of fate, which going well with the Trust in Divine Detours card, and a windfall of good fortune are destined for you. Brightness and hope will alleviate negativity and give you the strength to find your way through a time of adversity or challenge. Finally, you will experience peace, love, and deep connection with your true self and the universe. Good things are on their way to you. This oracle supports us in relaxing and reconnecting to optimism even during tough times. In such a state, we will realize that difficulties will eventually come to an end and we will be provided for. This oracle brings guidance that a new reality of happiness is available to us even now as we steadily make our way to the light of a happy new start. So hold on to that, divine masculine. And here is your theme for this week, divine masculine. Reunite. The Six of Cups, the reunion, which we saw over here, divine feminine, knowing will never die, this connection with you. It will never die. Even if she has released this need for the reunion. For you, divine masculine, working on these wounds from your past, healing those wounds, and finding a way to allow this reunion to take place. This is your theme for this week. All right, we are at the final part of the reading. I am going to do a healing process with one of those cards. And I'm going to throw this other card on the floor, apparently. Oh my God. You're going to die, Elizabeth. Holy shit. So I decided I would pull one healing card and I will close out the reading. So I'm going to do all my closing announcements and stuff right now. And then I'll do this process. If you want to do it, I'm going to put on like just some background sound and then read the card and read the meditation so that you can do that. And then I'm just going to turn the video off. So before I do this, this is the theme for this week. It's the 10 of Cups. So we got the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. And that's why I said you were going to die, because we pulled both of these for the masculine and the feminine energy today. So you need to really believe in, fantasize about, imagine, cultivate what constitutes this material fulfillment by tuning in to your spiritual fulfillment, to the essence of this. If you can take this physical material thing and strip from it, getting down to just its essence. Look at how these cards are the same, right? Each one of these cups results in a material culmination. But we have to know what the essence of this is in order to give this to ourselves. And we can't get this with another person until we can give this to ourselves. So it's important for us to know the difference between these two things, the attachment, and how that prevents us from experiencing the full fulfillment of our bliss. And that's a lot of completion, okay? I do really think that things are coming into a completion, which is difficult because my ego is like, really? Because I literally am moving on. So you can keep thinking that if you want. And that's why my ego is not allowed to do the readings. All right, let me do all my final announcements. So today is Monday. This is the start of my YouTube cycle, and I just did the divine check-in. Wednesday will be obstacles removed. Thursday will be Thursday will be tell me everything. Friday will be release and rebuild. Saturday is a wild card. Sometimes I do another tell me everything spread. Sunday will be the Gray Strager reading on Instagram. So that is the weekly schedule that is happening. So I will see you on Wednesday. Tomorrow's my day off. I do not read and I do not respond to emails on Tuesdays. So if you book something and you don't get a message that's like, this is happening then, where, what, and the other thing until Wednesday, don't worry about it. You will get an email on Wednesday if you happen to book something. Booking, please go to pearlsprayers.com, book a session, click support. I do these readings for free. I really do need to support myself. It's getting kind of serious here. I only have a certain amount of funds that I'm living on, and I really need to see a consistent stream. So if you're coming here consistently, consider subscribing in some way. Consider just helping me out as much as you possibly can. That I'd really appreciate that. The readings right now, you have the option to have a Zoom session with me. In January, that will change just because of time limitations. It will be all pre-recorded for the most part. There will be a virtual option, but it will be twice as expensive. So just keep that in mind when you go to the site to book something. You do have the opportunity to do this with me virtually, which is really cool and very healing experience. For me, usually, and for you, because we find a lot of things in common, but that's why I can't do it as often, because I end up going way over the time and it's just no discipline. My Pisces rising has no discipline. All right. So all of that is there. You can book the divine check-in reading. You can book release and rebuild. You can book obstacles removed. All of the readings that are over $30 are available for virtual sessions. And then go listen to my music. Pearl and the Prayers. Follow me on all the things. All right, let's put on the nice, soft, healing music, which I'm using a 639 hertz playlist that I have going. And all right, here we go. We're going to do this healing energy. This is the final card. This is called the Karma of Kutuala. Your sacred soul passion is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality and your outer experience. So commit to what truly ignites your heart and do not be dissuaded by anything or anyone. If you are seeking to make a commitment, do so when it truly connects you to your heart. Follow your genuine, meaningful bliss. Know that no matter what appears to be, you shall prevail. You shall arise. Kutuala is a Sanskrit term that translates as that which excites wonder. Even if it doesn't seem like it will lead us anywhere practical, following our bliss can allow for something beautiful and deeply fulfilling to unfold. We often pursue what is sensible and secure, yet what could be more appropriate or divinely and delightfully inappropriate than pursuing a path so intoxicating, so fascinating, so utterly mesmerizing to the spirit that no matter what challenges arise, you feel so much love and commitment and passion, you shall not turn away. That is the stuff of potential greatness. We might call it being led by our hearts. Kutuala is permission to do just that. The shadow side or unconscious pursuit of Kutuala is seen when we chase our bliss in such a way that nothing genuine ever gets a chance to mature. We might be lured by greener grass and chase after every new possibility like a butterfly flitting from place to place. This doesn't involve the heart, but rather the restless mind, which acts from fear and avoidance rather than using passionate devotion as its foundation. The commitment that emerges out of true Kutuala is not about clipping one's wings, but about growing them and learning how to fly skillfully. Without commitment, one takes a leap, tries to fly, fails, and rather than going through the process again and again until there is understanding that leads to mastery, one tries to ride a bike or surf, dance, teach, heal, or innumerable other things, never giving any chance to settle and evolve. There is inherent wisdom in Kutuala. Let yourself be truly excited and inspired. Allow yourself to stumble, to not know, to become the holy mess that precedes sacred rebirth. When your attraction is deep and soulful, you will have the capacity to stay the course even through difficulties. Don't allow the ego to tell you that the struggle must be a sign a path isn't right for you, and thus drag you away in search of a substitute paradise. The oracle of karma of Kutuala can relate to those times when you are just discovering the path, feeling inexplicably fascinated by something and are encouraged to explore just what the true nature of that fascination could be. Then, the karma of wonder is guiding us to fulfill the deepest longings of our soul and attain spiritual freedom in the process. We often think of karma as negative, but positive karma is our connection to guiding grace, the soul's delight that empowers us to live with joy and rapture. We can cultivate positive karma in the way we live our life, from the heart, with forgiveness, a sense of worth and gentleness in our hearts. This oracle guides you towards spiritual empowerment, your ability even today to create something positive, gracious, loving. What ways of being and which practices would enhance your ability to be a generator of positive karma this lifetime? Small steps can lead to great accomplishments when we stick to a path. Be patient in your passion, and you shall go far. This oracle encourages you to recognize that, in its own inimitable way, spirit is practical. It just tends to go via the deliriously rapturous, astonishing, and deeply healing route. Trust what you love and let your heart lead you. You and your life shall become luminous, sanctified in the grace of alchemical transformation. An unexpected and miraculous arising is at hand. All right, so if you want to get comfortable, this is the healing process. I'm just going to read it, and then I'll just shut the video off. I'm going to let the music play for a little bit, just to give you the space to feel the healing, and then I'll just turn off the video. Take a moment to connect consciously with your breath. Breathe in and out slowly and deeply, allowing the breath to naturally lengthen, and perhaps even allow for pauses on each side of the inhalation and exhalation. Place a hand on your heart and say the following aloud. I call upon the heart of wisdom, of sacred passion, and higher purpose. May I be graced with the discernment to recognize what is true, valuable, authentic, and genuinely purposeful in my life. May I release all else with a sense of humor and a willingness to recognize that I have learned something useful. I allow myself to be inspired rather than frightened by the passions of my heart. I choose to learn from what I love and be led through what inspires and excites me. I trust the passion in my heart is the same passion the universe has for me, and that the inspired, excited, curious feelings are cosmic breadcrumbs leading me along my rightful path. May all beings be guided lovingly to fulfill their highest divine destiny. Now, allow yourself to see, sense, or feel a light within your heart. It is playful, excited, and curious. When your mind or feet alight upon something relevant to your soul journey, your heart tingles with spiritual electricity. It lights you up from within, leaving you feeling as though anything is possible and there is an endless path of creativity, beauty, sacred, and deeply healing and liberating for you to explore and share. Tune into that feeling. Know it is safe to trust it. When you are ready, place both hands at your heart and just acknowledge your own heart as being a beautiful and sacred instrument for which you are grateful. You have completed your sacred healing process.